Hello everybody and welcome back to the St. Thomas Dynasty here on NCAA 14. This is John J. Gaming on the mic, and today we are slated to go on the road for the first time this season where we are taking on the Texas State Bobcats, who are currently 2-1 this season, with their only loss coming against Virginia Tech on the road. We're currently 2-2, but we lost our last couple of games, and we're hoping that this is one of those games where we're able to get back on track. So one of the things that we're going to try to do in order to get back on track is we made a slight change to the wide receiver position. We had Jonathan Marks as our emergency wide receiver, but what could we put in? Our senior Marv Santana. You know that he's a dog on the defensive end, but he also has some decent catching abilities, and we have good speed and acceleration there as well. So we're going to head and put him as our 6th wide receiver over Jonathan Marks and see if that gives us just a little bit more of a spark, since the last 2 games haven't gone well for us. But hopefully it works out for us. Hopefully we can get back on the right track and move up to 3-2 on the season. So smash that like button, hit me up in the comments, and subscribe if you're new. Let's go ahead and jump into this game. So Texas State will start with the ball first here, and it's going to be a handoff up the gut to Atkinson, who is going to get to nearly midfield already. It's a 20-yard gain. A couple plays later for the Bobcats. This time it's Clark in shotgun. He's going to throw it to his star wide receiver, and Texas State is moving the ball quickly down this field early on as they have the no-huddle offense. They gave us a really tough time in Season 1, and looks like it's going to be some of the same early on here, as Texas State, I think, has gotten a first down on every play so far, with the exception of maybe one. But then here's Clark. He's going to break a couple of tackles, and Matt Gent and another gentleman is going to be able to bring him down nonetheless. And then Corey Ford actually almost jumps offside, so we get forced to this player walk, and Javon Banks gets the first touchdown of the game, and the Bobcats are up by 7. So now it's our turn with the ball, and hopefully we can respond with a touchdown of our own, as Joel Collins, our backup offensive lineman, actually makes the catch. He also fills in a backup tight end. He does make the catch for us, but unfortunately for us, we get stalled out after that promising first play, and so we have to turn the ball away over to this Texas State squad, and they're doing much of the same as they get to midfield already. Once again, as Arnold Atkinson, only 2 runs, but he nearly has 40 yards already. Dude's been killing us. Reminds me a lot of last year, as their previous running back did set the school record for most rushing yards in a game in Texas State Bobcats history. And right now could look much of the same, as it's a throw to the left-hand side to Hopkins, as Jacoby Hopkins is able to get to nearly the red zone. Texas State is looking to threaten once again and make this a 14-0 game real quick, as there's Banks once again at just about the 10-yard line. Almost manages to get back up, but thankfully the Heisman cheese does not affect us all that much. And now we have him at a 2nd and 7, where they throw to the left-hand side to Arnold Atkinson, who is wide open, nobody accounting for him, and it's going to be a 2nd touchdown already for Texas State. And we got ourselves a 14-0 ball game here, as St. Thomas needs to get some points on the board here. They're going to start with a throw to Chad McKenzie, who gets it to midfield. First time we are over the midfield marker today. Hopefully have some more success, as there's Mark McDaniel making a great catch. Beautiful throw, by the way, by Jesse Wallen, as he really had to put that on a rope, but he was able to do that, and he's able to also get something done with the legs, as it's a 14-yard run, getting us into the red zone for the first time today. We're looking to cut this lead in half, as Christensen on the next play makes it a 6-yard gain. Nice run up the gut. Alright, so following that run up the gut, we're going to do the same thing with John Christensen. He makes a nice cut, and we're in the end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, we made this a 7-point game thanks to the running of John Christensen. So after a few possessions where it was actually 3 and out, we now are having Clark scramble, and somehow is able to throw a perfect ball to Arnold Atkinson, And we did have guys in the area. Corey Fitzpatrick was there, but just couldn't get a hand up for whatever reason. And now Texas State is looking to get something going here, and they do, as Jance is now having the Bobcats at the 30-yard line already. So we're going to try and make this a 2-possession game once again, as Clark, he's going to throw to his left-hand side, and thankfully Parker, our defensive lineman that transferred from Mid-Tennessee State, does get them to settle for a field goal. So it's, instead of it being more than 14-7, it's only 17-7, as we almost threw an interception. And now 3rd and 10. Wallen's going to drop back. He's going to look for somebody to throw to. He's going to just run it. And Wallen's going to get out of bounds without being touched, and that's going to end the first quarter for us. It looks like it's a little bit of a shutout, and we need to get our act together if we want to win this game. So here we go, one of the first plays of the second quarter. We're going to throw a dart to Kevin Stone. He gets out of bounds for a gain of 15 there, as St. Thomas is looking to make this a 3-point game following the field goal that Texas State kicked on their last possession, as Jesse Wallen, after a run, goes down. So at least temporarily, we will have Desi Lindsay, our backup walk-on quarterback, by the way, in the game, and we're going to just hand it off to John Christen for now, who's able to pick up the first down. But then look at this, Jesse Wallen is already back in the game after a few plays, and he's just going to continue what he's been doing before his injury, and he's going to run right into the teeth of his defense and pick up the first down, trying to lead another touchdown drive for the Tommies, and he's going to do it, handing it off to John Christensen, and just being some senior leadership for Jesse Wallen, making this a 3-point game. And now with 3:35 left, we definitely have ourselves a ball game, as Clark, Texas State quarterback, is able to helicopter in for the first down. Texas State gets some points on the board, keep the momentum that the Tommies are currently building at bay, as Clark running to the right-hand side. He is uncontested. If he didn't trip, he could have definitely gotten a touchdown, and we are fortunate that didn't happen. But, you know, the drive will still continue, and we might get him to stall here, as it's a 3rd and 11, as Atkinson is going to be just short of the first down. Texas State is going to have to settle for another field goal. So now it's a 20-14 game, so we have an opportunity to take the lead here, as Jesse Wallen, he's going to run upfield and continue to be a tough runner. He's going to pick up some yards for us here, as now we are under the 2-minute mark here in the second quarter. We're going to throw a dart to Chad McKenzie, and he gets out of bounds, making it a 1st and 10, and we're a few yards away. But, of course, we get sacked, which sets up a long 3rd and 19. Here is Jesse Wallen. He's going to try to throw a ball to Chad McKenzie. It was on target, and that's actually going to be the end of the first half. It's a 6-point game, but we could definitely be winning. We just got to continue to execute, and we got to do our best. And part of the reason for doing our best is we do have the ball to start the second half, so we have another chance to take the lead here, as John Christensen once again will go up the gut for 8. Next play, it's going to be the same thing with the read option. This time, Jesse Wallen will keep it, and he's going to fall forward for a gain of 5. It looks like he's a little bit shaken up, but will remain in the game ultimately. Jesse Wallen, man, is just a tough competitor. He will not give up. He definitely, at times, does play higher than what his overall says. 2nd and 2, though, we have a triple option with the motion at wide receiver, and Wallen's going to keep it again. He's going to be tripped up at about the 43-yard line. It's another good run. Wallen running extremely well, but unfortunately, he got hurt again on that play, so we're going to try to throw it to Andrew Green. It's a long throw play that we have to deal with, and we will stall out, so no points again. But we do back them up really well, and we almost got a sack, which would have been really helpful for us, but we'll definitely take the 2nd and 10. Next play, Jacob Clark is going to drop back the pass once again. It's going to be a throw to the middle, but it's dropped. So we have a 3rd and 10 and a golden opportunity to go ahead and get some great field possession if we can get him off the field. But unfortunately, we were bamboozled by the halfback screen, and it's going to go for an extremely large gain. They're almost at midfield already. That is insane. So now we just going to try to avoid that last play, and Parker's going to go in there and bring them right back. Loss of 7 as Parker's able to get in there for, I think, his second sack of the day. And then 2nd and 17, we nearly get an interception from Aaron Rodgers. It would have been really cool to see him actually catch that ball. But instead, we have 3rd and 17 coming up here as Jacob Clark. He's going to throw to his right to Aragon, and he somehow helicopters in for another first down. Man, 3rd and 17, you hate to see it. So after that long game, we have a 2nd and 13. It's going to be nearly, I thought it was going to be caught off the bounce, but, you know, it does fall to the ground. We have him at another long 3rd down. We just got to see if we can actually get a stop this time, as they're going to try the halfback screen again. And this time, we were ready to go, and we're going to force them off the field, as St. Thomas will have an opportunity to try to take the lead. So now here's Wallen back in the game once again. He's going to throw to the right to Patrick Miller. He gets a nice 18 yards there. But unfortunately, we are facing a 3rd and 12 now. But Chad McKenzie is going to bail us out as we get another long game. Nice route running, by the way. You don't see that terribly often. As now 1st and 10 after that long gain. We're going to throw to our right to John Christensen. Nice throw on the run for Jesse Wallen. And he's been taking a beating, but dude is extremely tough. He's going to try to stay in as long as possible, despite his injuries, as we need to get back on track, as there's Andrew Green that's going to help us out. St. Thomas is threatening to take the lead here. So now 2nd and 8, Jesse Wallen. He's going to run up the gut. He's going to be able to pick up the first down, as we have a 1st and goal situation. And for the first time today, we have an opportunity to take the lead here, as Denzi Lindsay has to come into the game once again because Jesse Walden gets hurt. But he is able to pick up 8, and we have at least a 3rd and short coming up here. We'll try to run some slants, and unfortunately it's out of bounds. It's thrown away. I'm surprised he didn't try to run it in, but we will get a field goal, and it'll still be a 3-point game. So now Texas State has the ball here as Marv Santana forces Jackson Lanham out of bounds, and that's going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter. It's only a 3-point game, although it looks like we may be without Jesse Wallen. We just got to continue to focus up and try to execute when we have opportunities to take the lead. Okay, so here we go. First play of the 2nd quarter. It's a fake to Jacob Clark. It's going to be thrown up the middle to Javon Banks. He nearly outruns the entire Thomas secondary, but thankfully Marv Santana and Matt Gent combined to make the tackle to at least slow him down just a little bit. But Jacob Clark here on this next play. Oh, excuse me, that is a burp. My apologies, that's sexy. Jacob Clark, he picks up that first down. And so now 2nd and 8. It's going to be a run up the gut, breaking some guys off. Arnold Atkinson just refuses to go down. It's going to be a nice gain of 6 on that one. And now we have a small 3rd and 3. We need to stop, and unfortunately, we're not going to get it. They're going to be close to about the 10. It's basically a 1st and goal situation coming up. Next play, after that long run, it's going to be Jacob Clark keeping it again. This time he's able to pick up just about half of the yardage needed for essentially a touchdown, as that first down marker once again is at like the 1-inch line. It's Jacob Clark. He's going to try to run it in, and weren't able to get to him. We do stop him from getting into the end zone, but it is a 1st and goal, and it's on, looks like the 1-inch line. And it looks like their backup quarterback is in as well. So it looks like we have Tony Veets in the game, and he's going to just throw a perfect pass to Javon Banks. So now we're down by 10, and we have our lockup quarterback for the rest of the game for sure, as we're going to try to scramble here as Lindsay gets tripped up, and it's going to be a loss of 6 yards for us. So we're going to go ahead and try and return back to our run, and Lindsay was narrowly able to make people miss and gets to about the original line of scrimmage that we had in the start to drive. And so now 3rd and 10 here. Lindsay, he's going to look around. He's going to throw a pass to Kevin Stone, and fortunately we're going to be a few yards short here, but we're going to have to go for it here. We got to get this first down if we have any chance to win the game. And Christensen looks like he's just able to get it, and therefore keep the drive alive with 4 minutes left. Alright, so now we got the drive to continue, but unfortunately we don't have time to throw the pass as Lindsay once again gets sacked, this time for a loss of 6. And then we're going to try to throw a halfback screen to deal with this pressure. And we're going to get into open space, and there's custom recruit Denny Dilkins picking up the first down and a lot more, as we're trying desperately to get points on the board here, as there's Marv Santana making a sighting. We switched him over to wide receiver earlier today. He gets his first catch. I knew putting Marv Santana in would be really helpful for us, as the dude is a baller, but we nearly threw an interception that could have nearly cost our hopes and dreams. Alright, so now Lindsay dropping back to pass on a 3rd and 7. Get it to Kevin Stone. It's not a perfect throw, but it will still work out just fine, as I actually think that pass worked out well for us. It stopped them from getting intercepted, as Kevin Stone makes another great grab before getting out of bounds. And so here we are, 1st and goal once again. Lindsay is looking around. He's going to just go ahead and scramble it in, and he's able to get into the end zone untouched, using his great speed to get by the defenders. And it's now a 3-point game once again, and at this point I don't trust my defense all that much, and I want an opportunity to get the ball back. But unfortunately for us though, we don't get the onside kick, and so Texas State now is going to have some great field position, and we need all the help we can get, as Jacob Clark gets sacked before the Tommies take their first timeout. So we now have him at 2nd and 18. Jacob Clark dropping back to pass, and look who it is. Swan getting in again. That's his 2nd sack in a row. So now we have a 3rd and 25. All we have to do is not let him get behind us. And Clark's looking around. Marv Santana's there, but he can't make the tackle. And what do? They get behind us. That is tough. We really needed that stop. Alright, so now we're hoping that we can get a minor miracle at this point, but Jacob Clark is going to look to try and close this game out, as we're forced to take our final timeout. About 2 minutes left here in this game. And then Clark, once again, he's going to throw a perfect dot to Blake Aragon. And that could potentially be the dagger. At this point, we will now need a miracle to win. So here we go. We're going to hope for that miracle, as Denzy Lindsay, he's going to drop back and throw, looking for somebody. He's trying to throw a desperate pass, and unfortunately it is intercepted. It's our first turnover of the day, and it's a really bad time to have said turnover, as Arnold Atkinson is able to get to the outside, and it looks like he's going to be able to get into the end zone despite multiple Tommies being there. So now at this point, we are going to be playing for pride, because now a win is not going to be possible. But even though we probably will not win this game, we're going to still try to get some points on the board for the sake of pride, as Freddie Gibson actually drops that pass for us. 2nd and 10 though, we're going to try the exact same thing, because why not? We got nothing left to lose at this point. This time it's way overthrown and nearly picked off by Kevin Anderson. Honestly, it should have been picked, but I mean, I guess we still have the ball back. So now it's 3rd and 10. We're going to throw to the right-hand side to Kevin Stone. And Kevin Stone's able to at least keep our drive alive and at least give us an opportunity to still try and put some points on the board to end this game, you know, just for pride purposes. And as we nearly get picked off again by Andrew Reed, who's really had our number here in this 4th quarter. That could have been his 2nd interception. But now we have him at 3rd and 11. Lindsay's looking around. He throw a dart to Andrew Green, and he's going to get it to about the red zone. It's a 41-yard gain. And at least we get to that pass for 250 yards goals. Get some little XP for us. That'll surely help us out here, as Desi Lindsay, he's going to try to throw to Marv Santana, but he puts way too much juice on there. And so instead, it's going to be a 2nd and 10. And it won't be a touchdown, at least right away. But it looks like this could be it, as Patrick Cruz, or excuse me, Ken Cruz, he doesn't get a lot of playing time, but that time he's able to get into the game and pick up almost a touchdown. But then we're going to finish it off with Marv Santana, and Marv Santana at least is going to have his first offensive touchdown in his collegiate career. And that is going to do it for us, as we try to do the onside, see if we can get anything going on the second go-round, and we didn't happen, so we'll end up losing this game by 10. This game was a lot closer than what the score may show, as we had our opportunities to win this game, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. So checking out the stats for our boys today, and our quarterbacks combined for over 250 yards passing, did have a touchdown and an interception. Both quarterbacks were about the same today. Our running game is what we really try to lean on. That was more of a point of focus for us. And Jesse Walton led us with 74 yards rushing, although 3 touchdowns that happened on the ground were separated by John Christensen, who had 2, and then Desi Lindsey, who had 9 total yards rushing off of 6 carries, did get the other one, 8 of them coming on that touchdown run. For our receivers, man, we were swinging the ball a lot, definitely towards the end of the game to try to come back. Kevin Stone led us in both receiving yards and catches with 8 catches for 71 yards today. The only touchdown, though, was caught by Marv Santana, who had 2 targets thrown his way, and he did catch both of those targets for 20 yards. And again, he had our only passing touchdown today. Our defense, on the other hand, didn't get any turnovers today, but they did their best to keep us in the game as long as possible, and we nearly pulled it off. Matt Gent and Derek Jackson each had 5 total tackles today, which led our squad. And then William Swan led us in both tackles for a loss and sacks. We had 3 sacks today. 2 of them were from him, and then the other sack came from Josh Parker. After the game, though, we did receive some news regarding Jesse Walton's injury diagnosis. It turns out that he strained his back, and so he will be out for the next 5 weeks, and that means he'll be out for the next 4 to 5 games. So during that time, we're going to have to figure out how to generate offense and try to get a couple of wins with Desi Lindsey as our starting quarterback during that time. Next time out, we will be going on the road to play against the Kentucky Wildcats from the SEC Conference, and it's going to be a lot tougher game than what we just experienced against Texas State. So it should be a good one still. So make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new, hit me up in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.